Yo, what is up? I wish I had a stream deck. I still have lost all my stream decks. So, let's see. So today, I am going to be editing some mocap for narrativemotion.com. This is one of my new projects where I'm just building a big old library of mocap, kind of for Unreal Engine. There's been people asking for Unity and other skeletons too, but really I'm focused on Unreal Engine because that's what I work in. So I was just building a big library of mocap for cinematics. And within cinematics, I consider this also dialogue. Dialogue being a big part. And it's sort of a weird, I don't know, it's not something you think about a lot, or I didn't think a lot about before, is when you're having these like kind of like dialogues in games, what type of animation goes with that. So I did a couple, and this one's the most popular. This is like by far the top selling mocap so far. And it's someone just idling with their hands together and then talking and kind of just blend between them. And then these are also quite popular. I think it's just kind of straightforward, like how you would use them. So I've been expanding on this recently, and I recorded a couple of these today. And also, let's see. So to start to test this stuff, I think my audio's off on the stream. Yeah, it is, but you don't really need to hear the audio. I'm building pretty much like a demo video game that has dialogue like this system in it, and there's face audio or face audio. There's face animation, audio driven, and it's just a way of testing this. Is to like, okay, let's make dialogue, happen in game, and then also in game cinematics where like there's like no interaction at all. And then recently, after playing Clay Obscura, I was like, oh, turn-based animation is actually, or turn-based combat's perfect for the type of mocap that I'm creating, because you don't have to tie it to a locomotion system like a Dark Souls game or something like that. They pretty much just stand there, idle, do their attack, and then they go back. So actually building something like that would actually be really good as well. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And this sort of thing, I don't know, it seems like live streamable for like having like a recording of it. So this computer, though, full of NDA things, so I need to be kind of careful on here. But let's see. I'm pretty sure my downloads folder, I just checked it, is pretty safe. Not too crazy. It's a lot of AI generation tests, which have not been going well. There's like a couple good ones, but nothing incredible, to be honest. It can kind of work. I don't know. It requires a lot of work and a lot of guessing. And in that time, I didn't download it. Shit. Oh well. Anyways, a lot of guessing and stuff like that with the AI stuff, where I could have just 3D modeled it myself in that time. So there's a lot of time investment to make it worth the time. It's like not quite worth it in half the cases I've found so far. So can I actually do the widget thing where I make the UI big enough to read and actually work? I don't think so, actually. I don't think that's possible. So this is where I dump my just like raw Vicon stuff. And I have the performance capture, or I have like the witness cameras and stuff like that recorded. I just didn't download it from my other computer, so I just won't do it. Here we go. So where are we? So while I've only gotten through I'm like only like a little bit through the first act of Clair Obscur, I'm studying this type of stuff, how these are animated, how they're put together, and then also from like a narrative point of view, like what do they show, what are they setting up about the story, like the intro of a game, so to speak. And I noticed this animation getting reused like constantly, and you can see this animation being used by her in the background as well, which is pretty funny because they're just gonna, this is how games do dialogue. Like this, there's just like thousands of dialogue lines. They don't record unique motion capture for every one or make animations for each one. That would be for like cutscenes only. Let me see something here. Okay, perfect. Great. So anyway, I was like, oh, there's a good one. Let's go ahead and do that. So there's a much bigger system that I've been studying that The Witcher uses as well for this type of thing. But I'm starting small here. We gotta start small. So here's a recording from this morning. I have not reviewed it yet, and I'm going for the Clair Obscur pose. I mean, it's a hand on the hip pose. It's kind of like I don't know, stereotypically like kind of like feminine pose as well. So pretty clean, but the idea is to get these animations prepped and ready to use in my game. And once I feel like I was like, oh, those are good enough there, then I would put them on narrative motion as sets. I was like, these are good to go. So it's kind of like my way of testing and making sure they look correct, that they look right, these dialogue animations. And I think in the end, once they're all authored like correctly, this just becomes like one big set of animations that I'm gonna reuse in my projects, and that other people could use as well. But I really feel like, oh, did we import the 120 frames per second version of this? We did. This is the full Vicon 120 frames per second. Yeah, we'll dump this at like 60 or something. That's way too high. Why is it 120? Oh, I updated my Vicon software today and it reset my settings. I usually export it at 60. 120 is way too much animation. It's really smooth though, but way too much. But anyway, so we want to start to wow, 120. That's ridiculous. These files must how big is this file when this came in? It's not too big, but 50 megabytes. It's big for a Vicon animation, a Vicon retarget. Yeah, we only need 60 for games, and that's fine. So I'm gonna start with this one. I have like 50 Unreal Engine 5.6 projects running right now, all over the place, between like 3 computers. But I'm trying to remember what we would use for this. You'd think there would be a scene set up specifically for editing this. Have I not been editing mocap on this project, on this one? I guess we could set up a blank real quick. This is more my like ecom site, where I like render the renders for the website than like actually edit the animations. I actually haven't been editing the animations at all. I've been just putting them up because they're smaller that way. These are going to be bigger, but we won't do that big. Let's go ahead and I'll make like a unique stage just for this. Mocap editing. How about that for now? So I've been talking to a couple different people that are using the mocap, different size game studios, like solo people. And I think I really don't like using the default like environmental lighting, but that's what we're going to start with. I'm considering just putting up like the full mocap take and letting people just like go at it, versus this being like, oh, it's a pack like directly ready to use in game. That's sort of like a different deliverable. And most people have to do quite a bit of editing before this is ready to go onto the game character too. What are we doing here? We don't want the landscape. I don't like editing mocap in this lighting, but actually we're on the mannequin. I'm going to be editing the mannequin, so it's not that bad. It's on metahumans. I don't really like how it looks. This just directly in the sun. I'd rather just use like an area light or something. What am I moving? The landscape. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go down like 100. Just get these billboards out of here. Okay, so let's see. What are we doing today? We are going to... It took me so many projects to get my game framework up and running. I have like 12 gas projects before I was happy with any of them. Mannequin. Huh. Where is the mannequin in this project? How could it not be here? What is this? So all the different Unreal Engine versions have different templates, have like different versions of the mannequin, and 5.6 is the most minimal. 5.5 samples I thought was a little bit nicer, and the gas project I was using is based in 5.5 when we updated. But anyway, you don't get that many mannequins in 5.6. I remember a patch note, they were like, oh, we like made it smaller because people were complaining about how big the template projects were, but now we don't have all the mannequins and we don't have all the animations that they used to come with, but I have them. But anyway, let's do a sequence. So how do I not have? So these are for like ecom rendering. That's different. So we'll do it like this. We'll call this like mocap editing, because until now I haven't really felt the need to actually edit any of this mocap. It's been completely fine, just raw. I clean it up in Vicon, but then I haven't really needed to edit it. But like now it's kind of getting to that point specifically for dialogue stuff. So So like narrative motion so far has just been like a shotgun blast of like, let's just put everything online and not organize it, because like what are we doing right now? I'm just like, everything just gets a number. But the dialogue animations like these, and these are the top selling ones by far at this point, are becoming their own thing. So it's like there's almost like a new subset. But I am gonna just keep with like the raw ID number system, which I mean it's gonna be a long time before you have 10,000 probably. But yeah, I mean this is this is like a subsection and like a specialty within like what we're building here. So we can't promote them to like actually being in the system yet. So I'm just gonna start this with what did I just call this? Like idle A or something like that. Call this the Claire one. I don't never know how to spell Claire Obscura. I have to Google it every single time. Okay, so on the Manny. So my retarget is for Manny. It's not for Quinn. Quinn is actually very different, which I only recently learned when I was like doing a lot of props animation, like where the prop lives in world space. It's very different. So we don't mess. Quinn is a completely different retarget if there's props involved. So what did we call this here? So we have mannequin testing. We're just calling these like idols or something. Try not to think about too hard about naming them until I think they're good enough to go on the site. So just idle A, sure, that's fine. So let's do idle A and set up our frame rate before we're out of here. Let's do 60. We'll pump a 60 out of this. Okay. And I have my reference footage. I don't have it lined up. We could have the reference footage. I'm pretty sure UE56 has a way of putting reference footage synced to this like an animator would do. Or a MOCAP animator would have like the face MOCAP live or the video feed, and then you'd kind of clean it up based on that. I have the same views for my body MOCAP, but at this point I think we're okay without it. So we're in a, I have to probably read to my calibration. I don't do great T-poses. They're okay. But if we were to like try to work off of this T-pose, like my elbows are bent and stuff like that, it's not perfect. Yeah, my clavicles are back. I need to work on it. But as it is, I don't rely on this T-pose for almost anything. I just do it just in case. But if we were to retarget based on this would be pretty bad. My clavicles are all over the place. T-poses are hard. Okay, so we're looking to get a Claire Obscure idle and a Claire Obscure talking mildly and then talking more excitedly. That's it. And then for NPC dialogue or dialogue systems, I would just cut up little clips depending on how long the dialogue is. And then for cinematics, we would like chop up these pieces and kind of like blend them all together and that sort of thing. And then we need like a sort of, the more advanced system I'm thinking of building is sort of like based on Witcher 3 is like a hand posed look at system on top of it. But I'm not positive that works with mocap, but we'll see. It's that's more like a hand animation thing, I think. So here's me getting Vicon to register my fingers and blah 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 blah. There's the low energy and there's the, so I'm pretty sure the feet once we lock in don't move, so that's a big part. But whatever corrections we do for the feet, we do want them to be consistent. So that would be step one. I'm not worried about noise on anything, fingers, anything like that. We're just gonna go with what Vicon at 120 gives me is better than what most people use. So like, I'm not too worried about noise on this take anyway. Otherwise, we'd have to go into like the raw curves at this point, but I'm not gonna do that now. So we'll do this, and I'm gonna do just a correction to the feet that is applied to this entire sequence. Should be this first one. Okay, so this is very common now. So we're going to wait till we have we kind of get settled. It's probably about there. Here's me. What are we doing here? Yeah, fair, right? So this is just an idle, and I'm trying to do like breathing circles, if that makes sense. Let's just call it here at 21, and we're doing 60 frames per second. Okay, so we'll consider the start of the idle here, and the feet, I just don't move my feet is like the whole goal of this series of this performance. Let's do this. Okay, so to begin to fix this, these are Vicon feet. This is what happens if you don't calibrate correctly. It's harder than it looks to calibrate, especially if you're the actor yourself. So we're just gonna drop this down. For some reason, you don't have to actually drop a key and it keeps it. I'm just gonna go with it, but you certainly should drop a key there. But like you kind of don't have to. And these in local, is this local? There it is. Okay, and we're gonna just flatten these up. I don't have the actual raw values because it's an additive control rig, but it's kind of something I would want. But I guess that doesn't really matter because we're in IK feet mode anyway. These gizmos are still new to me. Okay, so we're relatively flat, and so that's pulling the leg a ton. And I've been starting to author my metahuman shoes so that you don't have to do the offset on the feet. I think that's the only way moving forward, which is the 100% opposite of how I've been doing metahuman shoes for the last, like, as long as I've done them. But now that I've been kind of like thinking about like how do you scale an animation library across like an entire project, or multiple projects, there's no world where you would have each character with its own shoe offset. That's just like insane. So heels are going to be an interesting one, which I'll definitely work out a system for heels for this whole thing. So do we reach hyperextension now through any of this? Does it feel bad? I don't think we ever hyperextend. I mean, I don't even walk in this take. Oh no, I guess it did auto key, but it would probably be safe to, you know, just keep the knees like a little soft. Like we don't want to have it hyperextended ever, just in case. Though this is a very, very subtle motions, which is what was like the beginning of this came from people asking for animations like this, where they don't move much and their hands are moving just a little bit. This is the active version. This is the like, oh, my hand's barely moving, like it's out of shot possibly. So I do want to work on an animation script. There's a bunch of ways to approach it so that the feet are always in the exact same place, even if they were recorded at a different day. I have a couple ideas on how to pull that off. Could copy the curves. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, but I sort of want to automate it. So I'm probably going to start building like animation tools in the editor. And I'm pretty sure we have like Python blueprint access to keyframes again, or in a better way than last time I tried to do this type of stuff. So we just want to be like, yeah, put him in the same exact place. And I typically record very close to my origin anyway. So let's do, so here's origin, right? And it's like, so there's no like science for this until we have, like, would I consider like the perfect like kind of idol for this one? Like if I had an idol that was like, that's the perfect idol, everything must match, then I would bring that in and just line up the feet, that sort of thing. And then also be like, where is their hip bone roughly, and try to have it be not too jarring of a transition. But the montages I give a pretty fat transition time to, so it's pretty acceptable. And watching Clay Obscure's in-game cinematics, I was like, oh yeah, we're fine. We're certainly right at that. We're like at that level and like slightly beyond. I think their animation blending for the in-game cinematics anyway. People are pretty forgiving. If the voiceover is good. Voiceover is definitely the most important part of any of these systems. Okay, so I have fixed the feet, so to speak. So these are off the ground. If we author the metahuman shoes flat like this, like the techwear outfit did, feet shouldn't be through the ground and the hips are fine. And we've just like roughly tried to stick his pelvis, you know, at 0, 0. And I don't have a perfect script or anything set up so that they're perfectly there every single time, that you could blend every animation together, but it's really not the goal at this point anyway. The camera cuts and little feet sliding on the blend is not terrible. We just want to have it be close. So the next thing with any Viaconi metahuman retarget is going to be clavicles. Like if there's anything like tragic here, this one probably should be pointed up a tiny bit because it's like a lean, but I think it's okay. And this one being down a tiny bit because this arm is generally like straight armed and I'm kind of like leaning into it. It's probably fine too. But metahumans in clothing and A pose clothing look pretty bad with this down, in my opinion. Almost always. Even if it like kind of makes sense for the performance, I think it usually distorts in a way that is bad. So if I could just always have them just be straight, it looks kind of stiff, but like not distorted though. So just kind of bias it towards that. And these are in FK right now, so we don't really have to worry about like, did we hyperextend the elbow? But we are just looking at the raw retarget on the mannequin. So my Vicon retarget pretty damn good here. Like even the thumb, this needs very little cleanup. Now once it retargets to a metahuman, that's a different story with 5.6 and how that's going. But like that's pretty good. Normally I would like IK this and kind of move that around, but like yeah, my mannequin retarget at this point is like I could just do it live and it's really good. So we don't really need to do much there, and it's stuck there, and I performed it as a little moving, but so there'll be a little bit of blending this placement, but it's pretty solid. Like these will all blend together like really well. There shouldn't be any problem. What we could do is pre-bake in some distance, but because like inevitably they're wearing clothing, so you could pre-bake in a little bit of distance for it. But once you retarget to the metahuman anyway, there would have to be tweaks, especially to the fingers too. The metahuman fingers don't retarget super great right now in the auto retarget. I have to make like a custom offset for it. But we could build in some space, and even if it clips through the outfit, it's like whatever in most cases. Like it's not a huge deal. But yeah, we don't have to with this one. So with the Vicon clip, this is why mostly I just put raw Vicon mocap out there. It's just usually so good. It's like I don't need to do anything until the retarget. So the base mocap is pretty much good. So at this point we could export it. All I've done is centered and fixed the feet, but like in the cinematics that I am making, where we don't cut to these mediums, I'm kind of going for a more like in the world cinematic where it just plays, where you would see their feet. We just want the feet to not be clipping. And this is part of a runtime retarget issue that his toes are sort of in. It's pretty good actually, but the runtime retarget around all these things needs to have like a probably like a blentosaurus on the feet or something, but kind of see. But so it's like such a small change, but if we were fixing like penetration issue with the hands and stuff like that, like it would have been worth it. And in this case, because this is like my Vicon system is like set up to do this now, it's very clean. Where it's pretty common to just come and delete all the hand mocap and just kind of do it with poses or something like that. Like just clean up noise and that sort of stuff. But I do not have much noise in my Vicon system when I do this particular type of animation. So it probably could be done. So the question then is segmenting this. And then looping, right? So do I turn this into a loop? That would probably be helpful for everybody, myself included. So it's like, that's why I kind of need to make this game demo. I was like, it's like, if I'm annoyed by this making the game, then so is everybody else. That being said, a lot of people don't even, there's a lot of different animation workflows and people don't do it exactly how I do it. But I think there's some value in me cutting this here and looping it perfectly. 50-second loop is very long too. I don't know from a performance point of view if that's like a problem. Your idle loop could probably be like 10 seconds or something, but I'm gonna do the full 50. We have like a clean 50, and it should be, I don't know. We'll kind of see. So I'm gonna call, it's 21 though, whatever. 21 to 50. So I don't know if the mannequin, most people do this in Maya, by the way, this phase or motion builder, but so I don't know it for sure. I mean, I know that there's a post process on the mannequin, but I'm going to turn it off just in case we're baking the secondary bones. That'll turn that off. And I'm used to metahumans. Let's do this. So there's another system that I think it's from the retargeting system. They've expanded this so you can make a new folder. We need the full, oh my God, stupid Windows. If you shake your Windows, it goes away. Anyway, we need the full export window from this animation setting, like please, every single time. I do like hundreds of these, and it's every single time I have to do this. So this is a mannequin. So these are not like final yet. So there's like all these phases of this. I guess I'll put it in there. I need to kind of clean this up. So, and naming conventions, we really got to get on those, but we don't have them right now. So we're going to say idle A Claire. Okay, so calling this idle A was not super smart, but because this is the idle and the other ones are talking. But anyway, it's idle A, idle, and this is not looped. That's how we're going with it. But it will be soon. So we'll loop are we looping the dialogue? So we don't typically have to loop the actual talking bits, just the idle. The idle should loop on its own, ideally, but the talking doesn't need to typically because it's getting blended as a montage or it's being hand edited for a cinematic. So don't typically need to loop that, but we'll see. So from here, that's going to be fine there. If only you could hit bracket now, but you can't. You got to do like, oh god. Anyway, we'll just put it over here. Now I'm a little concerned that what was this correction? That I've keyframed. Okay, so I've done a bad thing. I split up these keyframes corrections. They're probably just to the feet and hips. I've keyframed them, so there's an animation on those. So that's not good. How does it have any though? Okay, I will just keyframe this. I mean, that's what I should have done in the beginning, and we'll just do it from here. I'll fix these. How come you're not going? Anyway, I've auto-keyed. I've keyframed the foot correction, which is not good. I saw them like slowly sinking. But we just need one key and then never touch it again. And so are we in a good place? I probably should re-export that other one. This is probably the correction we did. Are the boxes supposed to be flat on the ground? I don't know. This is what I'm seeing for this. I need to kind of bake like another animation see, but as long as they like look that close, that's fine for me. Plus it depends how you author the shoe. Let's see. And just make sure that hip control is fine. Yeah, so we just put one singular key like anywhere, typically in like the beginning, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Kind of want to redo that export just in case I was like slowly keyframing the feet, which I'm pretty sure I was. So we're post-process off for baking, which for the mannequin is not, that doesn't do very much. So this, I'm just in the dark exporting this animation. Like how? Do people not do this? This is like not a process people do very often because like I need to name it and override it, but I can't. It's wild. Maybe people just like Python script this process every time. I don't know, but it's annoying. Let's do. See, I have no idea what to name this thing now. It's like in the dark. It's the retargeting assets. The retargeting window has like the full export. I can like actually see what's going on. There's no way I'm nailing this. So this is the actual idle, not looped. Who knows what's going on out of this? Yeah. Well. Anyway. Is painful to animate out of here. Ooh, yeah, that was it. Or not animate. It's a pain to export out of that. Just have no information when I'm exporting my animations. Anyway. So that's where the hand goes even more. And there's a thought to break those up even more than that, but I find that too much personally. So I'm making the system so that I can use it first. And I'm sort of waiting for this like more advanced version of this for like a single request from someone that would want to do it that way, but we'll see. Okay, so here's some just like talking and swinging to the hands, but I really think for this stuff, I mean, I'm going to be testing. Ooh, we have, so final, he's looking up in the retarget, but final look direction is for when we retarget to the metahuman anyway. But the head is a little high in general, but it's not the final retarget. And also, head direction for game NPCs is usually controlled by the game. They usually have the head just automatically look at the player, so it's like, sort of doesn't matter. But it's a little bit up in the way that this got retargeted. So these are just supposed to be low energy talking. I'm pretty sure it is. We'll find out. It depends if the shot's played in a wide or it's played in here. What's good. But this is considering you ever do a shot like this is what we're going for. It's like the hand's in here, but you can't see it. Back here, it's like this like kind of very subtle animation, but kind of has to play for both in how I'm doing these. So that one's good. And you know, I guess another content browser will help me, but like it's really a pain in the ass that I can't export and know what the hell is going on with the names of the files. I feel like I know the person I could tell this to, and I just always forget to request this. Oh, it'd be good to. Where are we? We're doing this. We have two of the names. Okay, so I guess if you just keep the browser open, it's not so bad. Let's see. So we're baking this one. Again, what is this window based on? Mannequin testing, sure. And I have no idea the name of it, so it's idle a Claire. And so this is like talking A or 1 or whatever. So that one should be good. We don't really need to loop that, but I guess I could. But for the game systems I've written so far and sort of seen how people have been writing them, I don't think you loop these. It doesn't really do anything, because it's more like the montage would end and restart than anything else. And if you're doing a dialogue that's this long, without chopping it up, I mean, it's gonna be like insanely. It's gonna be kind of, I don't know, repetitive or something. How close is this end pose here? That's pretty close. Okay, so assuming nothing went wrong, this is like the more active version of the animation. And let's see here. Yeah, so in a medium shot, the hand comes in. That's sort of like the difference here. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of depends on the dialogue that's happening. The Claire Obscure ones, they barely move at all. I mean, that's much safer. But they're not like a hand cutting animation. They're not hand making them. It's probably just like do idle, do talk, and their lip sync isn't. I don't think their lip sync is actually synced. I think it's basically like it takes the loudness of the waveform and opens the jaw. I don't think there's like actually any attempt at lip syncing in that game for the in-game cinematics. So yeah, it doesn't really matter for them. So we'll take this one. I think this is fine. But for the project I'm doing and would want from these, like this needs to live realistically next to a metahuman talking with proper lip sync. So if the body looks like bad, basically that's not gonna fly. Idle a Claire, and this is like talking B. So like our more energetic, more expressive talking animation. So do I keep this sequence? I suppose I do. Why not? Okay, so that's like the cleanup for this one. More like kind of like the unifying that our feet are all in the same place. That's all that really matters for that one. There wasn't any actual cleanup needed. So then might as well dupe this so I don't export. I should confirm that those are 60 frames per second. I don't see it. They are. Okay, so we've gone to 60. So these are gonna, if I export these from Unreal, they're gonna have the mannequin mesh in there. It just inflates the size of everything unnecessarily, but that's the workflow I have right now. So that's how it is. So this one will be idle Claire idle loop. So we want to loop this one. And I'm mostly inheriting the settings of this being at 60. Go here, delete this out, delete the layered control rig. And this is not in metahumans, we have to be kind of careful, but for the mannequin, it's not too much more we have to worry about. But idle A, not looped 1 is the one. So I don't know if I loop these perfectly. And it would be hard to tell on this because there's no like big, like I did a kick and then came back to idle and did a kick. They're just like I can't even tell where I am in this. This is sort of the point. But anyway, I'm gonna take this, put it here, same level, and then we'll blend in like a 1 second blend should be probably fine. So this is the transition of like weird lerp back to normal or back to frame 1. Let's see. What? Hold on. Well, that's certainly not it. So, didn't we pull? Hold on. This is the raw loop like that. But so if we am I not supposed to pull this? How do I do this? I know there's a way of automating this. I've seen like every like technical anime in the world has like a script that just like does this for you. What? Doesn't this blend to this? There's another way if we What's the difference between... Is it because we make it to the end? I swear that's how I've been doing this. Or do we... No, what would that do? What is that doing? This blends me to the middle of the sequence. That doesn't work either. I swear you just pull this, because this is the end of it. Should we not do it right at the end of the clip? Is that part of the reason? I always forget how to do this. It's also a... What was I doing before? I was looping something that was way more complicated, and I was in the curves. This is like the high-level animation version of it. Like, you should be able to do this in like a Python script or something. So if I do this, there's no blend. You're blending to the middle of the clip. This being the head of the clip, I hope. I would never know because I can't tell where the beginning of this clip starts and ends because it's just an idle. This is frame 1, and we want to blend the back of this clip to frame 1. So it should be... getting these to snap is a thing. And I'm eternally trying to figure out the hotkeys between Resolve and Unreal Engine Sequencer. It should just be this. We're just now... Though the thing is, like, we're pulling from... What is the thing, that clip we just pulled from? We want to just blend to the beginning of the clip. You could also... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, hold on. So let me do this. I just did something like this like really recently. So this is a 60 frames per second. So we could just do the first frame and blend that in. I haven't been doing that though. I guess I haven't been doing that much looping. So if we just do this, again, this menu, why so low info? So if I call this one idle A, Claire, idle, basically like start, then that doesn't move. And then if we blend that in, but I certainly have been using a different technique because I was making a walk cycle recently and trying to loop a walk cycle, which you wouldn't want to just do that, but I guess the answer is I haven't been looping half the time, or more than half the time. What did I call that? Not looped. Talking start. Yeah, there it is. So it's just one frame, and that's what we want to loop back to, or blend back to, over like a second or something like that. So that one's just a static one. Huh, is that a better way? This ends here, so this is 1 second. Could be. I could see that. Yeah, and there's like the awkward like rhythm break. Yeah, okay, that works too. That works too. I know there's like, I've seen different techniques for this, but anyway, here comes the loop. Yeah, I mean, if we just focus on the transition, it's like, but yeah, because it's, yeah, so it's not like the most rhythmic. We could also try to find a better, well, now that we have the static clip, we could find like, I don't really care that much for an idle, but there's like a left, right, left, right, left, right, and we blend on like the, if it starts left, we blend on like on the right. But like this, I don't have any sort of like, I mean, so it's like kind of the right shoulder's coming back, then it comes forward, then it goes back. It's kind of, this is way too long of an idle probably, but anyway, it goes back. So if we blend it like here, it's on its way back, and it doesn't start back. And no, it kind of starts on its way back. Again, this does not matter, but if we blend from like here or something, I feel it probably would be like a little bit better. That being said, I don't care. I'm just gonna do the full thing. This idle is very long, or it's not. It's only, that's still probably way too long of an idle. But anyway, this will loop, and it's not so much that like, let's like pixel peep the loop. It's like if you're just having this person idle in the background, it doesn't call attention to itself. That's all that matters, and no one would ever notice that. It could be done better, but that's fine. Okay, so let's bake this. Oh God, why? Oh, the naming. Why? Idle a Claire. Idle looped. So I'm almost positive this sort of thing could be scripted in Unreal Engine. I just haven't taken the time to be like, how would I pull the last frame and then do this automatically? But I'm pretty positive I can do this automatically and just batch like a ton of these, but not there yet. So it should be now, if we test this, we have our assets. We could promote this to being the first set. I will use this a lot. This is like in Claire Obscure, they're like, anytime it's a woman talking, we're going to use this half the time type of animation. I will do the same, probably. We need to test this real quick, other than putting it in my actual game, which is what we're not going to do, though. So then we'll say idle a like test. Though that is the real next test. But anyway, so we're in idle a test, and we'll delete all this stuff. Okay. So really is much better with a metahuman or something, but we want to author kind of generically to this guy. So this is idle a, if I say loop, we should be able to find it. And this will soon have a number and a name. Not. Wait, what? Those are both nots. Here's the actual looped one. So it doesn't really matter that this loops right now. I'll know if I put this in as an NPC in the back and I just play the game. I'm like, am I watching them like reset and stutter? It's like, it's very obvious. In the kind of close third person game that I'm building with, it's very obvious when the NPC starts like the loop is not smooth. You just like see people like pop out of the background. But we can start to blend these a little bit. So can I drag this in properly? Where are you? So naming is good now, but we'll name the finals. This is kind of my work in progress folder. So where's our talking animation? Talking. Whoa, here's B. Where's A? Here. Yeah, we didn't name the naming convention, so it's kind of all over the place. So if I do this, is it going to blend? No, it's going to do a new track. So we should be able to go from like I'm not talking to talking. Now that there's going to be, yeah, so it's like the hand went for like a wild walk, and that blend is also very long. I think in game we're blending in like a quarter of a second or something like that, half a second maybe. I set it in the, you can set that in the montage, but we go from idle to talking. It's like, so the other person's talking and now I'm talking. Maybe I said something that's really short. This would be more for like in-game cinematics where we're going to come actually edit the animations versus like the dialogue system. We just kind of let the montages control everything. Then we just go back to this idle. Back to idle. Cut it again. And I'll bring in my idle B. Where are you? This one. This is the more active one. Actually, I'm glad that it put it on its own track so I can do this. That's good. Good stuff. So this is a more active one back into an idle. And that could be this could be the final montage for in-game cinematic or something like that. Put it here. Then we would time up the talking and not talking parts to audio. And I don't know, for me that's like as much effort as, and then we would bake this, or rather put a control rig on it, and then I would just hand key the look. It's like you're looking that way, you're looking this way, done. Attach whatever props are happening if the system isn't going to automatically do that for you, which mine can't do that at the moment. But yeah, so it's sort of, I mean, it certainly should play in a wide shot, but the idea is that it would play in a medium is what a lot of people have been asking me for, is this type of animation. Because they're just like too active. They're like too energetic and weird and cartoony, or they're just dead. So it's sort of like this weird in between where it's like this is coming from like a real person just standing there and breathing and being a real person, and there's just like this like sort of subtle body motion happening, but it's super easy to go over. And then if you hand key it, little motion, little noise on the hands, and then when people hand key it, it's just so dead looking, that it's sort of uncanny immediately. On a metahuman anyway. On stylized stuff, it's like whatever. Like on the mannequin, who knows how this mannequin's supposed to move? It's terrifying that it moves at all. So there's always this like danger with this like kind of like infinity loop type of motion I do with my body, that like I'm moving to the right, and then so is the hand animation. So you move to the right twice, and it looks kind of weird. But again, like once the metahuman face is moving and there's audio and any in clothing and anything else happening, that the stuff sort of is less noticeable. But it is, I still stand that it is hard to make animations that are natural on a metahuman that don't call attention to themselves, for being too stiff or too crazy. And I do think this is like a very natural way to go about it. And there's certainly more systems to layer on top of this, as far as like having like look direction built into this now. It's like, oh, they're looking to the right and that sort of thing. But I think this works for a lot of stuff. And I'm going to just be like, if the cinematic is like he addresses the person there and then addresses that one there, I would just fit into this probably a turn in place and then hand key the head. And like I'm not on like a specific production pipeline where like that took too long. I know for like certain games they have to be able to like auto generate these type of things like super fast, but that's not what I'm really going for at this point. I think pretty much like any game animator could pull this off, this exact same thing really quickly, and then we can do this at runtime too. Obviously, this is how montages are firing at runtime. This is just one's like perfectly designed for a cinematic where the audio is like pre-figured out. Just want to make sure like the feet aren't moving, and so I just need like 100 of these. Like this could, I think this could be my focus for the next couple months, is just get a lot of these done, and just like Witcher, it's like sitting, table, different levels of emotion, that sort of stuff. And if we just have, I don't even know if you need an alt idle, but I need like an idle. I forget what it's called when you do like an idle and you like look around, but whatever that's called. One idle break where you kind of look around, and then like 2 levels of talking done. And that could get me through. Like, I think I'd put together entire cinematics like that and it would look fairly natural. And then any like, hero actions where like they walk around and like interact with things and do things very specific, just one-off record those. But I think even those type of animations are very canned. And I think that there's, between games, you use this, everyone does the same animations. So it's not that different. Or it's very likely it could be very similar, and then you just like additively add like a little bit of difference. But I know there's like infinite human actions, but I still feel like there's like I don't know, a set of like 1,000 that it's like you're good. We probably like, unless it's like a very odd movie, I think we could get through most cinematics. A large chunk of cinematic dialogue could just happen with this set. So, for considering this is for games, head look almost doesn't matter, because it's going to be programmatic at runtime or programmatic even in the cinematic, depending on the complexity of the system. Like we'd have a locator out here, and then this system would be looking for the locator, and it would trigger the whole upper body aim system. Though it turns out Witcher did that too, and they said that it doesn't work. So you need to kind of pose the whole body, but we'll kind of see. So this set's pretty good. What time is it? It's 12:23. But so I just wanted to like live record this kind of process and sort of mentality with like how to record these, what's the end goal with them, and I think then putting them into like an actual game dialogue framework is the only real way of testing them. Like this guy. So he's just doing his idle. Then it kicks off that idle talk back into the idle. Then we talk to him. He does the idle talk. I only had 2 variations. Could probably make like I forget how many Witcher said they did. They don't do that many. And then looking at Clear Obscure, I don't do any. It's just basically the idle. Unless it's a cinematic where that's being either I've seen them in accent suits, but it's like recorded, like that scene's like recorded bespoke. At that point, it's not like dialogue's supposed to be kind of like generic and reusable, and then like the cinematics can be bespoke. Like that's fine. But yeah, I think it's, so I did a bunch of these. One of them's not usable because the leg was just going too nuts. So it's really easy for this to be annoying too. So I have another one after this, but this one's a win. I could use this as like better than the Clear Obscure animations in my opinion, but I guess it depends on what it's being used for. But like this just has a lot more like natural like swaying and that sort of stuff in it, which I like. And it's not impossible to like reposition the feet and stuff given this animation for sure. But the more we touch raw anim, the more like weird it gets usually. I don't know. It's like the closer we can just leave it to the raw thing. There's all this like subtle like human motion actually in this because of this like unconscious. I'm just doing it. That even the swaying. Ooh, that seemed like a lot. Oh, that's the blend. Yeah, yeah. If you look at it quick, the hips really give it away when it blends in. If the hips move too much, so that would be kind of like the hand authoring part would be like try to not do that. But this little swaying and stuff like that, it's like as soon as you move the foot even a little bit, it's like how much they sway just starts to not make sense. So and plus we're already like every retarget screws it up more and more. It just makes it worse and worse from like what was actually happening. So I would tend to not want to touch anything, but then we just kind of have to see like if I did like 50, let's say like I go authored 20 of these, what will that look like? What does it play like in third person where you see the whole body? How does it play in cinematics here? And just kind of find out. And just so far, all of my animation sets coming from Gas are just left foot forward. So I just idle like Gas does. Gasp. This one I idled like kind of straight on, and it looks sort of crazy. I don't know. It looks kind of insane. It looks, I don't know. Maybe I need to study people a little bit more, but I thought this was sort of weird. It's very fronty. But I don't know. I kind of have to play around. And I think like the leaning on props is my favorite part, which is why I did these desk ones. And I think these are like perfect VTuber animations. Like back when I was making VTuber stuff, like you would just use these. You don't need to track your hands. It's gonna go terribly live. Like you could just trigger different sets of these and it would be perfect. So let's do this. Okay, cool. So I think that set's pretty good. And there is some optical noise to clean up, but like I forget, I was watching someone talking about like mocap cleanup. It's like you spend like you could spend an hour per cleaning up that type of stuff, and then I'm sure if that's your like full-time job, that's what you would do. But then you look at the animation in the final game, and it's this NPC who is never like bigger than 10% of the frame, and it's like why would you waste your time doing that? What is this called? Is it the standing table? Yeah, I don't have names yet. We kind of name them when they hit the site. Hopefully that's a dupe. Okay. So this introduces like a different sort of problem because it has an interaction height, which we haven't standardized yet, which we would standardize to the, but then, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of, we would need to standardize to the mannequin height in real world and be like, yep, this is the 80 centimeter interact, but I haven't quite figured out how I want to approach that yet. So I'm just making them instead. I feel like that's going to be hard to line up like this. Like it doesn't snap. Idle B standing table. So this is like the raw. Yeah. So I've had like mixed results with this. Like I did it the prop way where we keep the real world hand, like the hands of the character are like positionally in world space where they were from the performance. So it's like world space stuff, like prop stuff. But that tends to do some weird IK things, which in the end I think is worse for this. So there's a couple bad things happening here. One is my table wobbles. Two, I'm on carpet, which is, wouldn't think you would notice it, but you sort of do. But beyond that, what is good is that like, this feels very consistent. I didn't measure it because I was kind of in a rush today, but I will eventually get to standards on this. I had this sort of thing going with Cinetracer too. I just didn't have any idea what I was doing back then, but I have a better idea now. And like authoring this animation set back then for me would have been sort of impossible. So this is 1 meter. So if we do 0.8, that's rotation. It's very subtle. 0.8. Okay, we're doing global. I mean, that's fine too, but can I get your origin to be? I mean, we're just ballparking. Okay, so we are well above 80. Oh, 80. Where did that 80 number come from? Anyway, well, I guess we'll just kind of figure out where this is. There is the parametric cube. We could in-game model it. Would be even better. Okay, so we're like exactly a meter off the ground. So it's sort of a weird table height. Kind of non-existent table height, like a working table height, sort of weird. So this should be 50 then, if that thing is like 1 meter. So this is like exactly 1 meter off the ground. Okay, I like perform. So I didn't perform it 1 meter off the ground. The retarget ended up here because of because of the way that I retarget this. We lose control of the hand height, but it's sort of just randomly ended up at 1 meter exactly, which is pretty wild. And so this is like a standing desk, which who has it's like not that common to need an animation like this. But anyway, this is my Elden Ring's Gideon animation at the round table. It's pretty. That's exactly 1 meter. Oh my god. Anyway, so it has an intro. This is the thought too, is that there's always some sort of introduction to the idol, but I think that that's probably not sustainable. But it just makes like if you could have that walk to the idol in the cinematic, it just seems so much nicer. It's like it just when they interact with things like this, it's like, oh, it's like so much more believable than just cutting to like, yep, they're right there, like the thing's in their hand already. Like anyway, so I have the intro to this one. So this would only be for cinematics. We couldn't do this for an in-game cutscene in third person because we'd have to. I mean, we could like root motion blend into it or something like that. That's like way too much work though. But anyway, for like a cinematic, it's like we could start like at least they walk in, boom, land. It just adds so much to it. Anyway, so I have the intro to this idol. Then it's all idle breaks for some reason. It should have just been straight idols. This is straight idols, low hand talk, high hand talk. So I did the idle break. Now the hand's moving because the table's moving is what's happening. So I really need a new table, but it's a wobbly table on a carpet. So like we want this hand to be locked. Or if we wanted to be like super realistic, which we do not want for props, is like technically things move around, but that's too much for this. We don't need that level. So the hand feels floaty, but it's actually the mocap is just I was on a floaty table, but it's the main problem. But anyway, it is intro. Should have gone straight to idle, but we're gonna it's all blended shit in cinematics anyway, so it doesn't matter. Idle break with the fingers, like we could break this all up, except we have the head here. We could probably nuke all the head animations is another idea. Just delete all the neck and head animations. So here's straight idle, but so unfortunately we intro to idle break. Ugh, I should have just introed to idle. But different idle breaks with the fingers and the head. I don't think you could actually blend just arms because the upper body's tied to it, so I just don't kind of believe in that sort of stuff yet. But I don't even believe in blending from the hips up because the hips affect the idol. I don't know. I think it would break everything. It would stop moving like a human. But anyway, we could extract an idol. We do have the intro, but it's an intro to the idol break, so it would blend pretty bad because I kind of walk right in. So it's only after like reviewing this and using it in a game that it's like unusable. It's like an unusable take, like unless we nuked the head animation. Like I just need to go boom right into the idol. So this is all trash. I'm not even gonna try. But anyway, the idol starts around here. I'm like shoulder breathing a little bit, but like anyway, intro to idol, and idol breaks are kind of like at the end or something like that. But once I move my hand, I don't know. It sort of depends. Okay, so there's the low energy one. So this is it seems like a shorter one, but maybe it's not. We'll do like at 50 here. So do you still have your post process turned off? Ooh, okay. I wonder if wait, is this new? Okay, so some of those exports might have the post process bones firing, which is on the mannequin. I don't know actually. I don't know how that translates to the metahuman retarget later. I'll have to find out. I know it's subtle, but I usually want post process off. We don't want to bake any secondary motion into this. Yeah, so the hands are. It's not the retarget. It looks like a bad IK retarget, but it's the prop. It's the stupid table I have, but it's like the perfect table, like occlusion wise, but it just wobbles. But anyway, it's still pretty good. So this should just be like it's a game NPC. He's just like sitting at the table. Then we walk up to him, and then it triggers the talking animation. But and you'd only need the walk in for like a cinematic version of it. But in game, they're probably already there. I don't know. It depends. Maybe we'd never need those walk-ins. I have to walk into it, so I must like perform it too. But anyway, so this idle's fine. We could loop it. I try to do like an infinity sign horizontally when I'm doing these. But we'll see. So animation, this is, what time is it? Okay, so this is idle B, idle not looped. So we'll go loop this one. And so we actually need, if we remember, we want frame, we need a single frame from this too. I'm sure there's probably a faster way of getting a single frame out of here, but I don't want a pose asset though. I'm pretty sure I want the actual animation. Testing. So this is idle B. I forget what we named this. I need that. I need this. Please tell me. I don't see it over there. Huh. Well, I'll have to figure it out anyway. So this is idle B, idle, like the start frame, basically. So with those two assets, I should be able to loop it. And we were at 50. Is that where this was? Anyway, so we'll keep that. So how was I doing talking? I think I actually just did it all in this sequence. Like I don't, not gonna like come and like reauthor it or anything like. Oh, okay. So what we didn't do is correct the feet before we started going. Yeah. This is not acceptable. We don't want that. So that's gonna. Yeah, not that easy. Okay, so we got to do this again. So this is where idle starts and then talk, blah, blah, blah. So what we need is a comment. Oh, yeah, that's why we do this all in the same sequence. Yeah, fair. Okay, cool. So I can watch this live stream back too and kind of remember this notes. The note, there's a couple notes I have for performing these. Just have to do this over and over again. And we don't even care about returning back down, but it's kind of nice to have this hand slam down bit right there just in case, and then you blend it back. I think that's helpful. So we're taking it all the way in. So we want to do the fix the Vicon heels, and then that's going to trigger the fact that the hand's not going to match. So yeah, this is IK hand fix into hips, into feet. So it's still pretty small. We're not even making walk cycles. It's like actual animation, which I'm bad at. Let's do control rig layered, and let's do this. Oh. Okay, so same bit, and I'm pretty sure there's a way of scripting this, sort of, but where's 0? Does that matter? So there's a prop, so it doesn't actually really matter where 0 is, but let's do it though. So let's do actual keyframes this time. So who goes first anyway? We're gonna flatten these out. Boom key, is there in Maya you hit S? I don't know if there's a keyframe auto key, but I would like it. I don't know what it is though. And we could do this all at once if we go global. Like that. Just like everybody come down a little bit. This is essentially how my high heels stuff works, but I'm going to have to rethink about high heel authoring for this type of flat foot animation, but I don't think it's going to be that different. So what we didn't do is key hips unless it auto keyed it, which it did not. Sometimes the keyframes are red, sometimes they are not. And so this is not quite there yet, but this sort of thing, you can get it pretty perfect in Vicon, but I think it's a user error with the calibration, and it is, yeah. It's something I look at in any game, is how well the feet are connecting with the surface. And if you're hand animating, it's really easy, but if it's sourced from MOCAP, it requires this sort of stuff. Okay, so then let's drop a key on global, and we're going to switch to IK for both. We could, yeah, we're IK both in this one. So with that little drop, actually, it doesn't really matter, does it? Now that I think about it, because this is not, like, the way that this would work is like in game, you just scale the table to match the hands. You're not going to, that's just what's going to happen. And it's actually pretty fine. And if hands, as long as the fingertips don't go in there, it's fine. That it's very common for the palms and the elbows to kind of clip through, but that doesn't really look that bad. Looks like we don't need too much correction at all, given that height change, which is confusing to me, but whatever. Plus, again, we're not like. Plus, once you retarget, it's like whatever. Like, but like, I'll kind of see once I'm gonna go make like a really tall and short elf for the game and retarget and be like, so what would we be doing to these animations is it a runtime retarget to get the hands back up there? Is it going to be authored per character? That's why I kind of need to test this stuff. So we'll just get the feet like evenly across whatever axis you want to call that. And then like hips / middle feet on 0. That should be close enough. And this is not, there's no world you're coming out of like an idle animation, a runtime like idle walking animation to blend into this, so the feet don't even have to match. But just like logically, when you pull the mesh out, you would expect the origin to be somewhere like that. But this wouldn't blend into like a walk animation or something. Like if this is just an NPC stood there and then they talk to you. That's the idea. It's this could be a good shopkeeper animation, kind of. And then the other challenge would be to like do another take of these, but I'm almost positive when I do these sets, like if I know that this character does a bunch of animations and like interacts, we would do them all in one take. That's just like, it'd be easier than trying to blend this back to like another take where the feet are like slightly different. I can stand there and do a 10-minute take of all the interacts if I need to. Okay, so that's fine. So 1 meter is just how it fell off the shelf, but once you retarget to a shorter, taller metahuman, it's all out the window anyway. And you gotta do something about it anyway. So this is for now a 1 meter stand, but once you go to final retarget, I mean it's all over the place anyway. I see the foot moving a little bit. I don't get a ton of toe activation in my current ROM from Vicon, but it also is extremely subtle. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, but I think it's fine. We're gonna go with it. I feel like it's like on like locomotion animations, you care about the toe bend more than like in almost so many cinematics. Just like here, it doesn't even matter like in the end. But anyway, so okay, so we've done the feet, we've done this. So like, all my raw Vicon stuff have the heels up like just a little bit, which in most cases like doesn't matter. But for these like NPC authored ones, I could see a pack of like 100 variations of this. It's like we would want those to be fixed, ideally. So it was at like 50, and so I'll redo this idle here. So this is all we did was fix the feet and recenter it to like a logical place, and then throughout this whole set. Yeah, that's why we do this. Okay, cool. Let's do this. I don't do this type of thing every day, so I kind of forget. Let's do mannequin testing. Yeah, testing. Yeah. So we'll do idle B. Oh, and that start frame's wrong. I should go delete those other ones. But we'll do idle B. I mean, that's really enough. Idle, not looped. So you're gonna ask me to over it. I guess not. We'll do it that way. And then we want that first frame so we can loop it sort of the cheesy way. Slash, I don't actually remember the other way of doing it. Other than like actually animating it. That would be going in the curves and actually making them match. Ooh, what are you? Transform. That's scary. What was that from? Hopefully not anything bad. Do this. Again, why can't you remember where I'm exporting, and why can't you show me what the names of the other files are? But let's do idle B. I don't know what we call this, to be honest. Standing idle first frame. Good. This is Unreal Engine's fault because I can't see the files. So I gotta name stuff crazy. So we're at 50. And we'll just do this. Okay, so yeah, we're like, wait, so we were like at 50. It doesn't have to line up, but we have a good starter blend from like right out of it. That's like the most perfect blend we'll ever get because it's like literally continuous. So just low energy talking until the end, and we don't need to loop this. That'll be good. If I can figure out how to automate the looping, ooh, that press I don't love, but yeah, so it's kind of good that we go into a little bit of an idle after too. I don't know if we need like a head and tail, how much head and tails we need after that type of action. I'll kind of find out after I build a couple cinematics with this. Let's put this on a frame that we can like name. Oh boy, what does that do? It's left to right. Can we make it all the way to 81? Yeah, okay, just so I can remember 81. It's a little cleaner. Yeah, it's probably good to have a little like the beginning comes for an idle, it's probably good to wait even more idling at the end. I didn't wait long enough, like a really long tail. But it's probably like, I don't know. I have to go make a bunch of like in-game animation dialogue scenes and like use the end of the clip and see if it matters. It probably doesn't. Okay, so this would be idle. Idle B. I can't spell anymore. Idle B. Talking A. We don't loop these, so that's like a final. Hopefully, that one's good to go. Oh, we're still exporting. And now we're at 81 to start. I can remember that. 81. We go like right to the end here. I talked a lot during this one. I don't know why. I think more is better for these type of things because you can then chop out more actions, or it just doesn't loop. I don't know. I know how much my Vicon system can handle post-processing, and it's not a long clip, so we don't. They're all like kind of the same exact length. I have like internal timer. The hand moves, but in actual like when you watch it, it's not moving. But in fast forward, it's like the table shaking. Wobbly table on a carpet. It's wobbly. Anything sturdier than that though would occlude too much, so it's kind of a balance. Idle B, talking B, 01. So now if I just loop this, that's 2 sets. The other one is someone writing with a pencil or a quill. Actually, that's gonna be pretty easy. And then the other one was cross-legged and like bouncing too, which I thought was gonna be interesting. But then I watched it back; it's like hyper distracting, so I'm gonna not do that one. But if this ends up in 3 idles today, I'm pretty happy with that. Could probably do like 10 a day or something if that was like the entire focus of the day. I tend to want to go test all these like immediately, so I don't want to do like too much and have them be all bad, basically all unusable. So we gotta loop these. So idling this one, so we'll take this and dupe. And loop this. I'm interested in watching this process back after. I'm going to show some people this and be like, am I doing it wrong? I think I am. 60. I just wish you could export the animation without the body. I know you can from Maya and Vicon and Motion Builder. I don't know if you can do that from Unreal, but it's not that big a deal. So this is idle B, not looped, 2. So that's the one where I fixed the heels. Right, third person game, like we're walking around, looking at it. If the heel's off the ground, it's not good. Feet is perfect. That's close enough. It's fine. No one's good. No one. There's no game that you get this close to the feet. It's fine. Like so, should be okay. Long as out here it just looks normal. That's all we want. Perfect 1 meter somehow landing on the hands. Who knows how that happened? So just to confirm, this doesn't loop. Yeah, it's not even that bad of one. He's just gonna. But if he had cloth sim on him, he'd be like the cape would explode. That's sort of one of the things that gives it away, actually. So let's go get our starter frame. Let's do idle B. Start frame second. Oh God, this one. Wait, what's? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So this landed at 14 seconds. So I feel like usually 1 second of blending is like fine. But it certainly could be done by eye. But I just like rough it in and be like, yeah, sure. You get 1 second to blend back. Not bad. It's a long idle. I think the other one was like 50-second idle or something. It was like 30 or something. Way too long. I think 10 seconds is probably a good goal. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It looks like it breathed too. He kind of like comes forward for the blend. Yeah, it's not bad. That's a pretty good one. I'm pretty happy with this. So let's keep you. Let's do this one. Boop. Oh God, the naming. Why? This always makes me not want to do this. Idle B standing. We'll give them actual names once I put them in the system. Idle B standing. What are you? Idle like actually looped. So this is the final. Should go delete all the other ones. Okay, so that should be that set. I will just test it real quick though. We'll take this dupe. idle B, test, and just make sure we can blend those 3 animations together without any problems. Certainly easy to have this go not work. Idle B. Oh god. Okay, so loops. Okay. Oh, I could kind of see why having a longer an idle is good. Yeah, I'm kind of because these sub loops become kind of repetitive. Then I could see it. Wait, that's the wrong one. Let's do talking B. Where are you? Idle B talking A. Oh, so that's like the talkings are much longer. I could see a long idle. I could see a long idle being worth it actually. So we're at 7 and now like a 1 second blend in. See how that looks. Yeah. Well, we're blending into the head of it, so it's sort of cheating because the head of the animation has the hand pickup already. We could like cut to it almost, but anyway. Yeah, right. Like just like straight into that's fine. And talk. You talking. Now you idling. And we'll just end on talking B, which is like the more excited one. We'll take like a cut just like randomly in the middle. So this is where it's like the blend in sort of matters. You'd want to start like with the hand motion coming up and then blend that into the idle. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think we're good on this set. So I'm pretty sure from this, I can make like a whole, I guess it just becomes like emotional range at that point. And then like, I don't know, exits and intros or something. You probably don't exit an intro most in-game cinematics. Like, it's like, nope. They just stay there. They don't really exit scene. It's not the in-game dialogue systems anyway. This NPC's still there. Just think like a play or a movie. They have to like exit and enter, but that's not the case here. But yeah, I think at this point it becomes like, it's like, oh, they're angry and I don't have an angry animation to go with this. So it's just like, I'm just gonna probably write down like 8 emotions. Epic actually has that already for the audio driven stuff. It's not even that many, but that's more like face. But I just need to think like, like what, lots of neutral and then like happy and angry or sad or something like that. I don't know. It's not that many different versions of it for like, a generic kind of animation. If the emotion's too like, different and large, it's probably just like a separate mocap. Yeah, those are good. Those are really good. I'm excited to use these actually to test those. Those are great. Okay, so I have time. Yeah, I should have time for this. Okay, so we got to do one more, and the 4th one came out bad, so I'm not going to use it. And there's a lot of occlusion. Just pushed it too far. It's not going to work. So let's do. This all kicks off with a sequence. Yeah, let's do mocap editing. We could dupe any of these. They're all the same. Hopefully they're all 60 frames per second, so I don't forget to do that. It's pretty easy. Idle C, that's doesn't really matter. So this is where I just like fix the feet and then export all the frames and then we loop it and then we test it. It's the workflow so far. Okay, I'll just delete this whole track completely. So hopefully 60 frames per second. I bet I've not been that. So this is keyed in the, rip. Oh well. So a bunch of these have the post process baked into it, but this thing doesn't have too many, especially if he's the simplified one. Anyway, we should be turning off the post process, like ideally, but it's subtle on this character. It's not subtle on the metahumans. Idle C typo rating. So how long does this take? 90 seconds. So there's, I think I do writing, then I idle, and then I talk. Do we talk? Huh, shit, I meant to talk with my hands. Well, okay. If nothing else, it's just writing and idling. Writing and idling. There's no addressing someone. This is supposed to be me talking, which is okay. I just wish I picked up my hand. But I get it. I get it. That's fine. Okay, so lots of writing. Where's the idle? Was the idle in the beginning? Maybe that's the idle. That might be the idle right there. Actually, I think that's the idle. I just went right into writing. So that's fine. That's fine. Okay, cool. So the height of all the tables should probably be the same, but we're not at that point yet. What's it 1 meter? It shouldn't be, but this is just how it fell off the table animation wise. Doesn't really matter. And almost definitely, feet wise, you're in this sort of situation where the feet are under the desk. It's like, does this matter at all? I'll line it up, but. And then, like, depending on the prop, and once you final retarget to the metahuman and get the actual hand in there, the actual prop in there, then we would do the hand pose to be even better. We would probably delete off all the animation of the fingers and just nail in one hand pose. Yeah, a little bit of hand noise on the occluded finger there, but overall pretty good. And the table's wobbling, but again, it's pretty usable. And we do a final. Well, it depends on the animation system, but we final retarget with the prop. You need a socket for the prop and all that shit too. But that's certainly per game. That's not something I would author in there. You could put it in like the weapon IK hands, I guess. So there's some thought to, is there any cleanup needed as far as like, is it perfectly flat? But that really depends on the retarget of the mesh, because everybody has like different arm lengths and like widths, like huge forearms or something, and like clothing with like I think like gauntlets, like all that stuff is like not something I can really. I can't foresee that. That's going to be that's like the final step of the animation tweak. The job here is just to get the source animation for the retarget as usable as possible. So let's put the feet on the ground. We could be like, oh, all chairs are this high, and perfectly do that. All tables are this high, but like realistically, it doesn't even matter once you retarget. So it would be good to come to some standard, but I don't think it's worth the effort at this phase, and probably even for this like first like mega set of idle dialogue animations I'm gonna build out. It's just like they're not gonna match. So let's do that little cleanup. And we know this process now. It's not too much to get the idle. This one has an action and then the talking. It'll be fun to make a little cinematic with this too, where like someone's like writing and talking to somebody. Control rig, blam. Okay, so let's start with, is this an IK fix? I don't think we're fixing. We're not even going to touch the arms, so I don't think so. Let's wait till they're in there. It should always be idle first. I was just excited to start writing. I'm trying really hard not to move my hands. I see. So there's a certain point where the left hand just sticks. It is there. So yeah, that's not. I should have idled. Yeah, everything needs like handles in performance. I should have been like, stay still for like a while, then go. I mean, I kind of do it, but it's like there's no one down there directing me. It's just me thinking. But that's pretty good. We should have idled longer, but I think the blend is. I don't think we ever move my hands in this set, so it's kind of fine. But if my hand did come up, we'd want like a kind of like a nice buffer so you could blend into it without having to like dupe start frames or something like that. Okay, so there's probably no need for this full writing thing. I wrote like a ton of lines, but who knows? And I come back kind of to idle here-ish. Can we get this on like a round number, like 57? Sure. So we certainly don't need that much writing, but I don't know. That might be cool to have like this much dudes just sitting there idling the whole time like that. I could see like a whole stack of people in the game I'm making just like sitting there writing. I could redo my typing animations. I made a bunch for somebody. Though like I think like almost every project that's like in a modern space has some sort of typing going on. It's also a question of like how much the hips. Once we have like a chair, because I'm like leaning forward, but it's fine for now. I don't know. We don't know you never know the final place, the final chair this animation lives in and such. Oh, in real life, I did a good job of landing right on the origin. We're pretty good. I don't think there's any real need to fix that. We're pretty much zeroed enough. I'm like leaning on the left butt cheek a lot there, I guess. So this should be pretty easy because the legs are already super bent, so we're not like hyperextending them or anything. Should use like a high contrast floor instead of the world grid or something, so like orange or something, so I can tell what's going on as far as the clipping. And once you sit down, the feet just don't, there's like no like real hope of having the feet like perfectly flat. They're like very, very close, but with the way I'm retargeting, there's no way. But it's just a small change. Same change that happens when we do the final retarget. Feet are pretty stationary. So at this point, I could even like make it like prettier. Ooh. Well, I mean, I think it's okay. Just kind of like square them up a little bit. I'll think about the leg pull in a second. The knee pull. But in most cases, it just doesn't matter because the feet are under a table. But we have the chance to art direct that now. And I haven't been putting keyframes down. So there's a chance that I have to redo this all. But for whatever reason, if you don't put keyframes down, it's still fine. And I don't remember seeing too much hip occlusion because I'm sitting and it covers my front waist markers. Sometimes the hips just like freak out for a second, but it's mostly cleaned up, I think. Yeah, so it's just like a cleaner square sit. Maybe a little awkward if they're wearing like a dress or something like that, but video game dresses are just always awkward from a bringing point of view. So that's the idle. Is that it? It was just immediately to writing, so no idle in front of it, which is kind of bad, but as long as that hand ends up roughly back there, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so we can bump this. Let's double check that that's off. Okay. Let's get this out of here. They should wrap it for the set, and then I'll go generate the econ, put it on the site, and then I'm going to put it in the game, and then make a tutorial or something. I don't know. Boom. Here we go. So we're going to do idle C, which these are not idles, but that was the mindset going into it. Is they're NPC dialogue idles. But idle C. So this one. Oh, I have to loop two animations. Okay. I'm going to call it writing, not looped. So we want the first frame of this one. It's still pumping. What's this frame? 57. Try to remember that. So we want this first frame. My God, exporting animation sucks. Why? How still so bad? Idle C writing first frame. And we were at 57, but it doesn't really matter. I think we go into the, is it the idle next? It's either the idle or the talking. Find out. Just put this back here. Right to 57. Looks like I'm talking. When do I idle? Is this the idle? This is the idle at the end? This looks certainly a lot of head bobbing. Okay. So it's talking, then idle. Fine. And I have the lookup transition, but I think I overlapped the animation. Almost. I think we got it. Shouldn't overlap the states here. But anyway, so I think that's like our coming out of writing. Blend up. So yeah, this will be interesting. I'm interested to make some cinematics of this actually. So I'm looking up clearly. This is like, oh, someone came and is talking to me. I mean, I have this like the script for my film, so or game, but oh, is that the idle? What are we fucking doing here? I guess so. Yeah, I mean, because looking up is the talking part. I don't know about this, but we'll see. Let's just pull this back to a clean frame number. And do we want to loop this? No. No, we don't loop the talking. Okay. But I loop the idle that's in front of this, or at the end of this. Elbows are going all over the place. I saw someone do a video on retargeting to have like the elbows and hands stay perfectly in place. It's all in Maya though. And I'm like, no, thank you. Pretty sure all that like reverse baking and constraint technique stuff is gonna happen in Unreal Engine if it's not already possible. I just don't know how to do it. Yeah, so the talking ones we don't loop. I mean, we could, but I'm just kind of not looping them. They just kind of roughly go back to idle. We definitely need to be like, be still for 5 seconds, then do the thing, and then be still for 5 seconds at the end. I like always forget to do that. It's I need to write it down as a process. But let's do idle C talking. How's it? Talking A, even though we don't have a B, and then we'll have idle after this, and that'll be it. I'm gonna put together a little in-game talky talk scene. I think we go like all the way to the end here. Talk, 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 and now we're kind of idlingly looking down. That seems like it's like a breathe out. Okay, it's okay. I don't know. I don't want this like shoulder shrug in the beginning of this. That's like too distinct. I think like here. And we don't have to remember this frame, but 8125 is not that bad to remember. Oh, we must have cut off the end of icon. Very still. That's fine too, though. Let's do this. Okay. That almost loops on its own, but not if they had cloth on them. That little jerk there, you would see that in the cloth. It would like explode for a second. Okay, so let's do this. And hate this exporting system and idle C. What are we doing? This is idle not looped. 01. Oh, still exporting. Save. Here, single frame. Export again into this cursed export window. Idle C. Actually, idle first frame, and I don't think we're going to do versions, but that's fine there too. Okay, I hope that we got that. I don't really care about returning this to the end. I mean, we could line up the... I don't care, really. Let's do writing C. Let's dupe this into... Oh, there's 2 loops for this. Yeah, writing loop. I mean, that's like kind of the... I mean, they're both important, but this is kind of the one that like I need. It's like there's like 4 people in a room all writing, and they're just all game NPCs that need to be looping a writing animation. Goodbye. Now, I believe we've changed the in-level version of this to being off, so I shouldn't have to do the in the timeline every time. And we are idle C, not looped 1. Soon to be looped, hopefully. Go there. And we're going to do first frame Dickle. Idle C. The writing version of it. And we'll blend this back over half. Wait, 16.5 to 15.5. Just arbitrarily make these 1 second blends. It's a 16-second rating animation. That's too much, probably. What? Wait. That's not good. Wait. What? Fucked up. That's not the same as... Where's this clip? Wait. Unblend you. That's not the same as this. God damn it. How did this happen? It doesn't matter, I guess. Just the wrong first frame. Just do this again. I wish there was a way to pull a frame and have it happen right here. There probably is some technique I'm just not aware of. Is there no animation on this? Let's undo that. Okay. Let's make sure there's at least 1 frame. Huh, what happened there? That can't be a post-process difference. It's probably just an organization difference of this being unorganized. Writing frame 1. Good. Wow. the naming conventions. Idle C writing frame good. Is that what I just wrote? Who knows? So is that, this is the check. Is this the same as this? Okay, perfect. Hopefully. 15.5. Blend you right into there. How's the loop back? Is it just the head, really? Wait. Oh, it's the idle. It's the idle. That's why. Oh, I'm dumb. I see. Naming. It's all the naming convention. That was the idle, not the writing one. I could have just used anyway. Idle C writing. Not looped. Oh, it's super long. Oh, super long. Okay. And so this, okay, so this thing I just exported was the actual, it's named incorrectly. But anyway, let's see if I can remember that. Idle C writing first frame. Now I like it. This one's a lie now. It's like, that's not the first frame, which is great. Should probably delete that. And is this the same as, oh god, so this animation's so long. Oh, it's like a little different. That's not great, but well, let's just see how it looks. But 35, what do we say to 34 basically? Mostly if I could name things correctly and be organized, that would be helpful. Good enough. Good enough. As long as the shoulders and the head don't like whip around. Oh yeah. That's fine. That is fine. Good. Take it. And it's like kind of perfect. That loop back. That one had like a decisive action though of like writing. The idles are like, I just like swinging my arms around talking. Testing. Idles. See, now how am I going to know this is good? This is like writing looped. I don't know why we're versioning this. So this was the right, what did I called it? What is this? Writing loop. That's the right name. It's correct. So we'll duplicate this one. And then we want the idle loop. And I've like made myself like landmines of renaming these things incorrectly. But it's okay. Let's do idle C loop. No. Not looped. There should only be 2 of these. Okay, never mind somehow. What's... There they are. Hopefully that one's actually an idle. Yeah, okay. And so I hope... do we have a good first frame? Worst case, we'll just make a new one right now. Idle C... idle first frame. Hopefully it's this. So is that the same as this? Yes. Okay, good. Mostly me not being able to rename things correctly. Stay organized is the problem, which is why we should write a Python script to do this instead. This could almost definitely be automated. The question is, well, writing that script, I'll launch this. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Writing the script probably take me a week, 2 weeks, longer. Who knows? And then at that time, I could have just hand authored like 100 of these. So it's always the problem with automation things. Idle C, actual idle looped. Okay. So that should be the set. Not too much work. A couple of performance problems. Humongous organizational problems with all of this as I build this out, and so how would I know which ones are finals and which ones are not? I don't know. I didn't name them in a way that do that very easily, but I suppose length is one way, but we sort of could have made ourselves easier. Again, exporting such a pain in the ass, but we should have just exported them into the finals. But let's see. So we have, that's the full take. not looped, not looped. Those are all garbage. Looped, talking, talking, and then idle start frames. So these ones. For B, we have the full take, looped, talking, talking, and then like the trash. Wait, where's the other stuff? How could? Oh, they're in front here. Idle start frame, idle standing table. One, is that the full take? So idle looped, talking, talking. So whatever, it's these. It's fine. And idle C first frame, looped, idle C looped. Wait, what? No, not looped. Looped, full take, talking, rating first frame, not looped, looped. Yeah, the naming conventions are all over, but as long as it gets in there, and then just like delete all this source or something. But so this should be the finals, and these are money. These are good. These I will use. Should I return back to Cinetracer development and upgrade everything to the new metahumans? These are going in there, except I'll be writing like a UI to make it much easier to. They get auto applied contextually usually, but this type of animation is like perfect for like, I don't know, all things basically. This is like so useful now, and it's simple. It's full body, and all we need is like either a full control rig to control neck and the head, and then the head direction doesn't even matter. What's up, Thomas? Was abandonware? I mean, like, it kind of is. But I'm basically like, so much happened with Unreal Engine 5 and metahumans that it's like, I have to like kind of relearn this and then rebuild on top of it. CT2 is probably, I mean, this isn't official, but CT2 is probably dead. That project, that version of it was written when Unreal Engine 5.0 alpha came out, and a lot has changed. An awful lot has changed about Unreal Engine, and I've gotten better. So I'm probably, should I go back into that project, a full remake, especially because of the meta. Just so much has changed, but I feel like Cinetracer, like, at least like for the next version of it, is like, has the meta. Obviously I'm just like obsessed with the metahuman side of it. Needs to be so good, and that's what I've been like working on for the last like couple of years. These animations too as well are kind of like part of it. It's like it's like building. I'm building like cinematics for like games now, like, and doing like freelance stuff like that. But it's like that sort of taught me how to build it better for Cinetracer. And the metahumans are better, and Lumen's more performant. Like CT2 was like very early experimenting, trying to use Unreal Engine 5, but it was too early. And I kind of backed out of the direction I wanted to go with it too, which I will not be doing this time if I make it again. I don't know what to call it, but it doesn't matter. But like, I think anyone who's ever used my software, it's like as soon as I put out this like beta version of whatever, this new version, but everyone kind of would understand what that is. There's another developer that makes BMX biking games, and he and I have like such similar development cycles where he made like a BMX game, and then he came up with like a new better way to do it. So then he made a free version of the new better way, and then it's like, how do you blend it back with the old version? I have the same conundrum of it's like, I can do it better now. The tech's better, but it's like, what do I do with the old version? It's a problem. I don't think there's an answer to it really. But anyway, these animations in CT2 or whatever the fuck we call it now can runtime retarget to different sized metahumans. In CT1 and 2, the metahumans are all the exact same body. Now we can have like different sized bodies and much more variation. But still just run them off of this animation set basically. I mean, that's the perfect place to put these two, is Cinetracer. So this should be the set here. So let me look how official I do this. I'm like, what number are we on? We're on 43. So these are 43. So for now, I'm trying to make these so there's just like, I just want one of these, you know. And it's like, I personally hate downloading animation sets, and it's like, here's 100 animations. Like, I don't want 100 animations. I don't want to sort through these, and how am I supposed to preview them? So like, I'm parting these out like how I would want them as a filmmaker, not a developer. A developer probably does want just like a million of them or something like that. But like, I kind of just want like, I just want this. I know that's gonna work. That's all I want, and it's sort of like how I've parted them out for now. So I see these in that light as like, where are we? Here's like did we only do 2 clear obscure ones? I guess so. I mean, it's so simple. It's perfect actually. Like whatever. It's like, here's like the hand on hip talking, Or idle, hand on hip, talking. Done. Perfect. It's like a perfect set. We could make a whole thing with that. What's this one? Idle B looped. Oh, that's not looped. Oops. Yeah, there's just 2 of these. Is that right? No. There's 3. Did we not do a third? I think I'm missing one. I'm pretty sure I have another one of those. I fucked this up. So like idle not looped 2. Not looped. Okay, put this back. The naming convention is just not good here. We're missing an idle talking. Oh, is it this? Yeah, it's that one. Idle, Claire talking A. Yeah, we want that. Boop. Yeah, we have 2 talking ones. Yeah, we have idle and then 2 levels of talking. Idle, 2 levels of talking. Idle, writing, and talking. I wish I did this one with the hand moving. Cinetracer is the place where is like only I care about. I think this level of animation quality for it, but that doesn't like that's what I want for it. Like if the animation's not good for it, I like don't want to do it, which is why I've been like doing so much like research on this side of it. But it's like if all the metahumans are different heights, but everyone drags in the same table, it's like there's a bit of a system that needs to be written to like adjust the hands. I know like most filmmakers don't care about that shit, but like I do. But anyway, this is sort of the foundation that then we could build the solution for that for. I think that same solution works for I mean it's my game, but it works for like cinematics too. But in most cases for the game studios I've been talking to, they're gonna just retarget and clean it up themselves. But anyway, they just need the source animation. But Cinetracer rebuilt for 5, 6 with the new metahumans, where I'm gonna give short metahumans, tall metahumans, big like wider metahumans, and thinner. It's like that is an animation challenge, but I think I could do it though. I think we have all the tools for it now, and certainly good enough source animations. It's like incredible. I think we could just go straight machinima with it too. We could just do like live talking over it. But anyway, I still tool it for storyboarding. I haven't tested megalights, 5.7 megalights. Maybe we'll jump in and test it out. I think performance is good for PC. I don't know how it is on Mac though. I don't even know if megalights works on Mac. Who knows? Find out. Probably doesn't. I think it's hardware ray tracing based, so it probably doesn't. Sadness. Talking A. Wait, Claire. Okay, so it's time to name these like their finals. I don't know where all that. It's hard to find my actual repository of all of this stuff. It's all over the place. It's on this ecom site, but it's like, where is it on my computer? It's all over the place. And then I have all like the metahuman retarget tests and stuff like that. It's a thing. So this is gonna be 43, 44, and whatnot. And there's 3 sets. There's the hand on hip, standing hands on table, writing. So that's 3. That's how I'll release these ones for now. And I think at the end, once I can build a pack and make sure that like I feel like they're all good and are retargeted and cleaned up the same way, then there could be like a big developer pack or something like that of those. But I kind of hate big packs of animations myself. I think they're annoying. Like I don't want to like sort through all of these. But I don't know. We'll see in the end. There have been people that have come to this site and just buy the whole thing because there's not that many. And I'm like, oh, clearly you just want the pack, but I'm not ready to try to do something like that yet. The hell number is this one? 43. And this is how this database very well could be the cinematography database one for Cinetracer too. These animation libraries. I'm building it like so it would be just like an ID based game system later. And I have the ecom site thumbnails already built out too. So this basically could be the foundation of like Cinetracer built in 5.7 or 5.8 or 6. I don't know when I'm gonna jump back into that. NM0043. I want to say when metahumans like settle down, but there's so much changing with metahumans. It's a lot to keep track of. So do we name these? I forget. I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. So I haven't come up with the naming convention because it's like this is clearly like a set of hand on hip. I don't know, but I don't have the naming convention sorted for this yet. I'll only know after I've done like a couple hundred. I was like, oh, okay, now I kind of know. But hand on hip. Is that the idle? No, this is talking A. Yeah, but anyway, the naming convention is completely made up, so I don't know. Another thing with putting these on Fab and stuff, they want you to name them certain ways. I'm like, nah, I'm not there yet. I can't, maybe someday, but they just have to exist, and then we'll organize them later. Hand on hip, talking B. And I need to immediately go make a cinematic with these to test. 45 hand on hip, and it's tragedy when I get the numbers wrong here, which happens a bit. Idle. Idle should be first. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's do, which one could stay the same then? I don't know. Where's the idle? Nope, I fucked it up. Oh, but they have different names. Just double check this. Wait, no, 43. No, I did it right. This one's 43. 43 is idle, and then we just gotta swap these, damn it. So, yeah, these unfortunately have to get exported from UE, which is gonna make them big, which I don't love, but it's this set needs to get authored a certain way to be functional. For me too, I'm gonna go migrate this to my other projects and make sure that they work. Okay, 43, hand on hip idle. Spelt right? Who knows? 40, damn it, it's still there. 44, hand on hip idle, hand on hip talking A, and 45. And so there's some number of these that's not annoying that's featured enough. I don't really know if it's emotion based. If it's like, I saw how CD Projekt was doing it for Witcher 3 like a million years ago. I'm sure they do it differently now, but like, is it really like hand on hip like angry, hand on hip sad? Like, if we really do that with the body animations, I don't really know. Is it like hand swings? Like, I don't really know what that set is yet, but I'll kind of find out. I know for now, for like most things, idle to talking, it's good. It's good. That's a good start. But there's certainly like, oh, like, you know, I'm making like a serious game and we have like, you know, serious dialogue happening. It's like holding gun. Like, I don't know. Like, there's gonna be more will come from this, and that's why I've started to work with like other indie studios to kind of find out what they need, and then I'll know that that's what people need basically. Idle, talking. Okay, so the names of these are always awful. 0046. Standing at table. I don't. It's not great, but that's what we're gonna call it. Idle. He's standing at a table. Where'd that go? Why aren't you? Oh, I didn't write NM. Fair. NM. Okay, that's fine. 0047. Standing table. Talking A. Yeah, I'm gonna go put together a multi-person talking cinematic soon. 0048. Standing table. Talking B. Cool. Oh, those are good. Those are good ones. So we'll start with the idle here. So this is going to be NM00. We're counting up. 49. Table writing, I guess. Sure. Idle? Is he idling? I can't tell. No, that's not the idle. That's the writing one. Table writing. So can we anticipate what we want to name this one? So this will be 50. NM50, and this will be 40. Want to start with the idles first. NM0049 table. Idle. And NM0051 table. Oh yeah, I forgot I used to stream on this channel making Cinetracer 2. That was a thing. Writing? I hope I named these right. I don't think I did. This must be talking. Life's. Say A. Why not? Things kind of go in a circle. UE5 came out and I was like, what the hell? Started making stuff. CT good or bad? CT2 good or bad? Who knows? I'm pretty sure most people use the first version, and then more things came out and I kept trying stuff, and now I think once this game, I'm pretty happy making this test game quite a bit. It gets it has like brings all together like a lot of things I want to do, and then it's a place for the mocap, and then so is Cinetracer 2. But I have like a much different take on Cinetracer 2 given time. It's not based on talking with users, which is not a good thing, but I do know a lot of the core users who use it, who've used every single software thing I made. So I kind of, I don't know, but the world's a little different now, I feel like, these days. But it's gonna have good good metahuman animation. I'll say that much. I think this is the set. Yeah. Okay. So we could definitely do like, I don't know, 10 of these a day, but I might as well blow my head off doing that many, because then I got to go ecom these and example them and make sure that they work. But there's a certain pace of these for like the rest of the year. I'm just gonna make like the set of these. These are valuable. Like I need these. They might exist somewhere. Someone might have made them. I just haven't really seen them. And I know a lot of the people that run MOCAP producing companies for this ecosystem. I've not seen it. Maybe it exists. I don't know. But like I kind of need them my way. Um, and then I'm also just doing a lot of like custom mocap for like certain companies that like they just need it. They need stuff that's like really bespoke, you know, and then we can't release it. But either way, I'm certainly at least enjoying this like sort of like learning process. Like, oh, what do we need for this? And I know I've talked to a bunch of game companies, and I know that this is how how they produce their stuff too. Theirs is like a little bit more complex, but like it's the fundamentals are here. I don't need the more complex version. Take too long to make it, to implement it, and to use it. It's too much all around. If we'd never make anything, we would just be making the system. So we have those. So at this point, it's like pump out the ecom graphics for it, the previews, and blah, 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 the renders of it. I am going to chain these sets together for the previews. Am I? For YouTube. And then I spit out individual GIFs, because like that's one of like the main things like I really want. It's still not, this ecom site has a lot of problems. I only started writing it like recently, but like we at least figured out how to have the hover preview animation, and these aren't numbered. Like I want to be like, when I'm shopping for mocap, free or whatever, like even if I own the whole library, right? Like that's what this site will be eventually, probably, is like I'm like, I want to look at the animation real quick. How quickly can I convey what the hell this animation is to the person and be like, we want this usable, and then just download it immediately. Like that's what we need. So if you download like 500 animations, it's like, how am I supposed to sort through 500 animations and figure out which one I want? So annoying, and like crushes your computer's memory. It's awful. So I want something like this. I'm like, and I didn't label them, so we're not really there. It's like, oh good, this one, cool, boom, let's do it. Like, you know, it should be like, oh, like, I don't know, looking it up is so much of the value of what I'm trying to build out of this. Like, it's the same thing if you download like, even like I have like 30 ZBrush brushes for like folds and clothes. How am I supposed to know which one's which? It's so annoying, like trying to figure that out. Like testing them, it sucks. Like that's like half of the battle with this project, is like, even in Cinetracer, if this library, if I keep the numbers, like if you want to figure out which animation's which, like anyway, we navigating and finding the animations is one of the hard parts, and naming conventions help too. But like anyway, like it's a big part of this project, just try to get that better. What is this from? Oh yeah, I'm using this in my game anyway. Who knows? Maybe someone else needs this one. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ecom these things into existence. They'll be on site by today, hopefully. And then I'm gonna go test them in probably this little game here, codenamed Grimoire. At this point, I do have an idea for it, though. I've been looking for like a narrative designer to kind of team up with. I found a bunch of people. We'll kind of see where we're at with it, but I'm certainly going to author all the animations in the main game framework. And I'm going to start writing a little tiny clear obscure turn-based system for this, so that I can start authoring some combat animations too, which those just turn into animation. It's like I'll do like a couple swings and stuff like that, but you have to retime them and make me jump like 20 feet in the air and all that stuff. So it turns into like kind of regular animation, but it can certainly be sourced from mocap, a lot of it. And a lot of the magic spells, you're just swinging your arms around and stuff, so kind of fun. There's a lot of new tools in Unreal Engine to retime animations and stuff. But yeah, we'll start replace that animation. I have a bunch of other ones. I have some arms. Oh, I meant to do arms cross. There's like seemingly infinite numbers of these to do, but they're all so good. They're like so usable for like the in-game dialogues, the cinematics. It's like, it's all about that idle and talk variations, and then I'm just using audio to animation pipeline. Don't even bust out the iPhone anymore to make the face stuff, unless it's like a fully bespoke cinematic. But even then, the lip sync is so good from the audio version. I'm not sure. I might just animate the face. There's a little bit to do there too, but I'm kind of dividing and conquering. I know some people that are like looking to kind of build systems around the face, and I'll let them do that. I don't really want to mocap the face. Anyone can mocap the face. You just use a video camera. But the body is... yeah, so in this room or whatever room he's gonna, there's like, she like walks in and we'll have a dialogue with someone at a table. That's why there's a table over there. And then there'll be just like some other NPCs like writing and doing like mage shit in there. That's what these idols are for. So what did we do? We did the one at the table. That's like the main character that I wanted, is the dude standing there. It's like gonna be like the headmaster. Then a bunch of just like students writing at tables. Made that. And then the hand on the hip might be her. That might be her delivering the animation. But this system, this dialogue system right now doesn't reverse camera to her. It could. We could just. I mean, we could write stuff, but it could be a cutscene too instead, where I cutscene back to her, and she'll probably be using that hand on the hip idol. Though this AI generated outfit I did for her has the pouch on the, and that's gonna collide. But I could tweak it. I don't know. It's gonna kind of figure that stuff out. But yeah, I suppose those are her animations, or if there's another like another character that would be standing like that. And the internet is aplenty with information. There's a 5-hour YouTube video on how to build these RPG systems using the new state system, which looks really nice. So another rabbit hole, but as long as for me, like this next while is like, I'm going to build a lot of animation and build a lot of in-game cinematics just over and over and over and over and over. That's the repetition. I'll build clothes too for fun, but like, that's what I really want out of this narrative motion and this grimoire game. It's to like solidify that. Those assets would live very well in Cinetracer as well. Even I could put them in like Cinetracer. Actually, I can't put them in Cinetracer 1. That system is that ship is sailed. Unreal Engine doesn't work that way anymore. Like basically, neither do metahumans. I don't even know if I have access to. Those are metahuman alpha metahumans. They're not even like, they were like pre-release of metahumans, so they're like, they don't work like that no more. That's so old school stuff. I don't even think you can make those like that. So I'm trying to get everything kind of in line for how metahumans work for 5.7. And I wonder if they'll ever slow down on that shit. They're probably not gonna though. They'll keep changing, keeps getting crazy, but who knows? I think this is be a good foundation for that. I don't see it, and the way I do clothing now is much better than how I did clothing for the original Cinetracer stuff. Like this is way more flexible. And I think my programming has gotten better. Even though I haven't been building a lot of game frameworks, I have a better understanding on how to build that kind of stuff now. Everything like fully modular, whatnot. No multiplayer, but I can do pretty good single player systems now and have it not like be horrible for performance. So we did this one. This hand position is crazy to me though. I do the thumb. I put the thumb like interlocked. Might be her. I don't think these are retargeted either. Like runtime retargets. I think they just. Actually, there are different sizes. I'm not sure. I have to play the game a little bit more. The characters are actually pretty different heights. I would have to. I don't know. Have to look at it a little bit differently. I wonder if they're doing runtime retargeting for this. I know that's like a 5.7 will have performance upgrades for runtime retargeting, because I think a lot of these companies are going to go that way. I'm also going to start building their clothes similar. I think like this is all you could ever cloth sim, and I do see their cloth sims kind of freaking out every once in a while. But I'm pretty sure these are all bones. We're just gonna go bones. Build the skin tight outfit, and then you build the other outfit on top of it as another asset with bones, additional bones, and you just hand animate them or rigid body or both, a little bit of both. Chaos. Oh, look at that little book she got. That's what ours is gonna have. I guess she is the mage. Runtime chaos cloth is not good. Like it's insane. You have to like reset the animation like constantly, and like I think bones is certainly the best still for games, for at least for me. You have to be like extremely good technical artist to pull off chaos cloth in game, like Serious Cloak or something. Took like an army to build that. I don't think that's the easiest thing in the world to pull off. So I'll be doing something pretty similar to how they've been doing it. Yeah, and they've got to be authoring the shoes flat consistent. There's no high heals in this game. I don't think that I've seen. Cyberpunk has their way of handling them, but heals throws this whole thing off. Makes it much harder. Okay, so these should be up on the site soon. Boop, boop, boop. It'll be this 3, that new 3 series, and it'll be continuing. There's people that come and buy all of these ones right now, so this is another like perfect set. For what I haven't heard exactly what they're using them for, but I can guess like based on this, it's either like doing linear content like I've been doing, or like these are just straight NPC ones. This is like a good like newscaster one. If you have like a newscaster in your game, these 3 animations you're like done. You wouldn't need to do much more if you didn't want. Yeah, so this is gonna become like a big specialty. I still like a lot of these like very like exposition-y exploring type of animations. I know that that's like a huge part. That's like the fun part of cinematics. I don't think I'm gonna get into too much combat. It's not really a focus. I think there's a lot of stuff like that exists, but there's not much talking, and there's not much like good quality like I don't know, walking around, as crazy as that sounds, and like exploring and doing things that you would do in cinematics. It's like, you know, exploring and picking up certain props that are used like over and over again, like this torch one. I was like, wait, this has got to be like every exploring game, that sort of stuff. This was like very specific ask from somebody. Props one, I'm pretty sure we don't want to do mocap props. I've been testing that. As cool it is, this gun one's free, and I know a lot of people have been testing this thing, but like, I don't know. I think as far as like games have come, you still just attach a prop to a socket in the hand. You're not gonna animate it, and if you are, then you're in a very much more complicated game pipeline where you have like the IK weapon bones being animated, and at that point, I think you're not using the mocap. So the question is like who uses like the mocap data of props? It's probably never makes the final. It's like reference or something. Like if you're gonna actually have a gun spinning on your finger like that, that's got to be on the weapon bone, and that's just way more complicated. So I'd have to hear from more technical animators at studios who would ever want that. I don't think it's a focus. This one doesn't have the torch. You just attach it to the hand, and the game I'm writing to wouldn't have an animation system that could handle integrating some sort of prop animation. You're just gonna attach the prop to the hand and have the hand go into a pose. That's it. So this is going too far. These are just for fun. They're like pure cinematics. Like you wouldn't use it for like runtime, but it's still a fun thing to do. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a studio ask me that, like, yeah, we want you to mocap these props, and then I would do a series and kind of see how it went. But from my testing for making like my own indie game, I'm like, there's no world people are gonna use that, you know, except for like runtime cinematics. But yeah, anyway, so gonna try to do like a good day for me at this point now, on top of other things. But like is like recording these takes me like an hour, if that, and then processing them takes this long, and just build them all out. But I need like they need to have like a focus. Like these ones for the VTuber stuff I've been building, it's like that's perfect. I'm gonna use these myself like so much, but these are perfect for all those other use cases too. Where I'll be back. Peace.